Hi everybody, I'm Miss Penny, Marengo-Union Library, and we're here to do a Mother's Day craft. It's so sweet. I'm excited. Well, I'm always excited, aren't I? Especially about crafting. Anyway, so this is a really fun one. They're all fun, but we're going to be doing Shrinky Dinks. Has anybody ever done Shrinky Dinks? Yeah, some of you have. That's great. So Shrinky Dink is really fun. You can use this cool paper. It's special Shrinky Dink paper. And what you get to do is you get to decorate on this paper, and then you put it in the oven and it shrinks. It literally shrinks. So anything that you design on here is going to get smaller. So fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a present for our special person, our moms. And let's get started. So in your kit, you're going to see, of course, the directions. And in your directions, it's going to give you a few ideas on different ways that you can design your Shrinky Dink for your special person. You are going to need a few things though. So you're going to want some colored pencils, possibly whatever you want to use for decorating it or for designing it. You can use colored pencils, you can use permanent markers, you can use oil pastels, you can use chalk, I'm sorry. Ooh, do not use oil pastels. You can use chalk pastels. Just know that if you use those, you can get chalk everywhere. If you use those, you're going to need to coat them afterwards with a sealant because, well, the chalk will just keep falling off and they'll get everywhere. You can use acrylic paint, glossy acrylic paint, because if it's not glossy, it will most likely just flake right off of this paper. So you don't want it to flake right off. You want it to stay on here. We want your moms to have this forever. So what we're hoping to make is a keychain. And then your mom really could keep it forever. There's a whole bunch of different designs. All right, so one of them is, I'm gonna be sending home these templates. So if you wanna write the word mom and like use your handprint as the O in the middle, so it would be M and then O-M, that would be so neat. And you could use paint for the O, or if you have an ink pad, it doesn't have to be a giant one like this, it could be any color, you could use this to put your hand in to make it. You can just draw something, like just a picture, maybe something that you're famous for. You can write something. You can just write, I love you, Mom, or you're the best, or something. You can even just write your name. That would be neat because your mom could have how you wrote your name at this age forever. You could trace things. So there are also some cool little things here. You don't even have to use these. You can use whatever you want, but I was just sending you a few home. You could trace things and color them, and that could be your item. So there's so many different ideas that you can do to make your mom a special keychain that she can have forever. All right, let's get started. So you're gonna have this piece of Shrinky Dink paper, okay? What you need to decide is how big do you truly want this keychain to be? You can actually make a keychain. You can make it a necklace if you'd prefer. I'm going to give you pieces for a keychain, but if you want to change it into, if you have a chain or if you have a ribbon, you can make it a necklace. Make sure that you realize when you make your picture, once you shrink it, it's going to get at least half of this size. So after I make my picture, it's going to shrink to about this size, maybe even smaller. So keep that in mind when you're making your picture, okay? You know what? I'm gonna make a mom. I'm gonna make a mom keychain. So let's just show you how to get this done. So I'm gonna use permanent markers just to outline my ends, okay? All right, so grab one out. Got it? So the way that we will do this is we're just gonna take our paper, our Shrinky Dink paper, and we're going to take this paper. We're going to lay this one down. We're going to put Shrinky Dink paper right on top of it. We're going to choose what size M that you're going to want to use, okay? I'm not putting my handprint because my hands are huge, all right? But I think I'm gonna put, I don't know what I'm gonna put yet. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. So whatever you do, if you're gonna do a handprint, maybe do that first. I'm doing tracing first. Actually, I'm gonna put an M, then I'll do my O, however I decide how to do it. So what I'm doing here is, and let me use this just so you can kind of see it better. So this is what I did. I laid the paper down, I laid my template, and then I put this right on top of it, right where I want to put my M, okay? And I'm just gonna trace it on there. Simple. Well, I'm gonna outline it. So I'm outlining the M. All right, so there we go. And then I have an M. M. Okay, now I have to decide, what do I want for my O? You know what? I am going to do thumbprint heart. So if I use two thumbprints, I can make a heart. That's what I'm going to do. So if we do one thumbprint like this way, we'll do it this way, yep. And then the other one this way. So just make sure you have paper towels or something in hand if you're using, or washcloths or whatever you need. Okay, so there we go. So I'm just gonna, I have my little heart thumbprint for an O, and then I'm gonna put another M right next to it. So I'm gonna trace again and trace my other M. Now if you want to add any other design, now we can do that. So there we go. Mom, so cute. Okay, now is when we get to color it in. You can use whatever item you want to use to color it in. So if you're deciding to use the chalk pastels, or if you're going to use paint, or if you're going to use marker, did I already say markers? Pencils, whatever you're going to use, now's the time. So you'll see there's a whole bunch of, see I have the paints here, but I'm not using paints. I just brought them out so you could see. So now's the time. Let's just color it in. Let's see. Well, you know what? It's so hard to pick colors, isn't it? Is it hard for you when you're trying to pick colors? Is it hard? Yeah, that's okay. Also, when you're doing this, you'll see in the directions to outline your stuff on a certain side and color it on a certain side, depending how you want your picture to look. So if you didn't want your outline in here, I would have, if I didn't want you to see the outline of the M, I would have had to trace it on the other side of the paper and then flip it over. But honestly, I kind of want the outline of the M. It also, if you flip it over, it can make it like 3D too. Pretty cool concept. So isn't it so strange, the interesting things that you can do with just a piece of Shrinky Dink paper? Try not to go out of the lines, because you're not really cutting out each letter each letter. You're cutting around them, okay? So unless you mean to go out of the lines, try not to go out of the lines. All right, so there we are. I colored in one M. I'm just gonna leave it at that for now, so that we don't go too crazy with our video. All right, so now I have my mom. This is how I want to decorate it, okay? Now you want to take this and you want to cut it out. When you're cutting this out though, make sure that you leave enough space wherever you want to put your keychain hook, okay? Because if I cut it really close to the M's just to get it just the mom, then if I want to put my keychain hook in there, I'm going to have to put a hole inside my M. So if that's okay with you, then go ahead and do that. If not, just give some space around it, okay? And you'll want to round your corners too, okay? Because otherwise they can be really sharp. And I don't think you want really sharp corners, because you can get poked, or your mom can get poked. You don't want to poke your mom on Mother's Day. All right, so there we go. You just kind of cut it around and make sure, like I said, that you have enough space. There we go. See? So I just cut it like that. All right, now you want to take a hole punch, something else that you're gonna need. You're gonna take a hole punch and punch a hole. You do not wanna punch it too close to the side, and you do not wanna punch it like in the corner too close, like not too close to any edges, basically, okay? So pick a spot not too close to any edges, okay? Because if you do that, the hole could break, and you don't really want your hole to break. Everything's gonna shrink, even your hole. All right, I just put mine there, so when it hangs, it's gonna kind of hang like that. So you decide how you want it to kind of hang. That's how it's gonna hang, all right? So that's that. Let's just say I've got mine colored and decorated and it's good to go. Oh yeah, don't forget to sign your name. Your mommy has to know who it's from, right? Maybe even the date. Okay, so then we're ready to bake it. So we have a pan. You're gonna need a big person to help you, okay? This part, please have a big person because it includes using the oven. If you have a toaster oven, you could use that too. It only takes a couple of minutes, like it goes really fast, all right? You're gonna take some parchment paper and you're just gonna rip a piece off. It's really, sorry for the noise. It only needs to be big enough really to cover your pan, or not even cover your pan. It just needs to be big enough for your Shrinky Dink paper, okay? But put some parchment paper on your pan. Put your Shrinky Dink on your pan. Oh yeah, before you do that though, preheat your oven to 325. All right, your oven's preheated. You've got this all set to go. Pop it in the oven, but do not walk away. No, 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 do not walk away. Watch that shrink, okay? Not only is it awesome to watch it, but you have to watch it because it goes so fast. It only takes 1, 2, or 3 minutes, like literally super, super fast. So you're gonna pop it in the oven, watch it shrink, and when it shrinks, don't be shocked, don't be scared, it's okay, it's gonna curl, but then it's gonna flatten. And if it doesn't flatten, you can take a, your big person, I want, please, big people to help you because this is gonna be really hot. So if it doesn't flatten out, you can take a spatula and maybe put some parchment paper on top of it before it cools, because once it cools, you can't do this. But while it's still hot, take a spatula, put some parchment paper on top of it, put a spatula and flatten it out that way. Or put some parchment paper on top of it and put like a heavy book on top of it while it's cooling, and it'll help flatten it out for you. Good to go. And if you stay with me, you'll see what to do and how it looks after it comes out of the oven. Come on guys, let's go do this. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, so how did yours go? Well, here is mine, straight off the pan. And that's what it looks like now. Isn't that so cool? So watch this. This is how big it was before. This is the outline of it. And this is what it is now. Look at that. Look how it fits in there. It barely. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean when I say it shrinks? It really shrinks. And if you look really close, well, it's uneven. That's not what I was talking about. The colors change a bit too as they bake. So keep that in mind as you're coloring it in, okay? That's that, complete. If you really are concerned that some pieces are gonna fall or that the color might come off of this in any way, just cover it with Mod Podge, or even clear nail polish actually works just as well as a sealant. So go ahead and do that if you'd like to. If you choose to do that, or if you're choosing to use nail polish anyway as your paint, now is the time that you do that, which it says in the directions, you would have seen that. And then once it's completely dry, so if you've sealed it, if you've chosen to, then you can put your little keychain in. And look how tiny that little hole is now. It was so much bigger. So what we have for that is we have this little piece of wire, which will be in your kit, okay? You're gonna take that piece of wire and you're gonna stick that through the hole. And I put the wire because it's gonna be so much easier to use that than it is going to be to try to fit a keychain, key ring through there, okay? So you're just gonna stick the wire through the hole and then the wire through the keychain and then just twist it. You may need a pair of pliers or like the wire clipper thingies to help you with this, so that because this wire is pretty strong, and you may want to cut a piece off if it's too long. Okay, I did not bring any with me, so I don't have any to do that right now, but I probably will end up doing that. But that is the finished product, and now this I can give to my mom, and she can put it on her keychain and she'll have it forever. So that's that, everybody. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't sign my name. I did forget to do that, but you know what? I could do that now. I could do it, see, permanent marker, sign away, right there. And it'll work just as well. And of course, what do I always say as well? The date. Because who's going to remember that this was made in 2022? Not me. All right, so there you go. Finished. Keychain made out of this big piece of shrink paper, put in the oven, turned into this. Totally cool. You guys have fun making this. Don't forget to clean up after, and make sure when you're using that oven to please have an adult helping you, okay? Because we don't want anybody to get hurt or burnt. Have fun with this. If you want to send in pictures, or maybe if your mom's come in and show us, or whatever you want to do with that, that would be great. I love to see the finished products, guys. But either way, have fun. Happy Mother's Day. Bye, everybody.